Just like all of us, I have insecurities. I'm insecure about my body. For the longest time, I've been working on myself to make it better, to feel more comfortable in my own body. But when I was younger, people made fun of me. I was a chubby kid growing up. And, certain people, maybe good looking girls, would ask me, "Do you wear a bra?" while I was growing up. So that left a mark on me, and that made me insecure about my body. These insecurities are put on you by other people. You're not born being insecure and hating yourself and hating your appearance. I'm insecure in some way or another because someone made me insecure about my appearance. Same as you. No one is born hating themselves as a child. When you're a child, you have all these dreams, you have all these aspirations. The world is so beautiful. But as you get older, as you grow up, people in your life point things out about you. And I'm sure you can relate. Maybe you have a mole on your face, maybe you're overweight, maybe you have a birthmark, maybe your nose is a bit bigger than average. People, especially kids, will point that out. In my own example, growing up, everybody around me in my school, they were more fit than me. I was always the chubby kid. I wouldn't say I got bullied, but things like nice abs, or do you wear a bra? Or I remember this one moment when I was in grade 3 or 4, in my first couple years after moving to Canada. I didn't know a lot of words, and I was in a group of other kids, and we were talking about bras, and I had no idea what that word meant. And I was like, what is a bra? What is a bra? And there was maybe like 10 or 20 kids like together talking. And this girl said, "Something that you would wear." And everyone started laughing. So that definitely played a role in me being insecure of my body. And even now, like after losing a bunch of weight and feeling better about myself, part of me feels weird filming this video because I feel like I still feel fat, and I still feel like I have, man boobs, and, I just feel awkward a lot of the time because of those situations, like I just mentioned. The bra situation, calling me whale, being called a cow who's asking to be milked. All these things, all these comments made me insecure about myself. Now, I'm a lot better, I'm fine, essentially. I'm working on it, and I don't think it's like defining me, right? You can always work on yourself and make it better. What I'm trying to say is that all these insecurities are not actually your own thoughts. And when you realize that, it makes you feel so much more calm because those people's opinions doesn't matter. They're not part of your life anymore, or if they are, they won't be part of your life in the future. You're probably not gonna go to their funeral, or they won't go to yours. You're not like friends, you're not close, right? And I'm sure you have bad thoughts about yourself. And like I said, these thoughts are not actually your thoughts. They were put in your head by someone else who made you insecure about certain things. If you want to share in the comments what you're insecure about and what, I guess, led to that, go ahead. I'm sure a lot of people will maybe relate and maybe feel better about themselves. You're the person, you're the soul that's observing your thoughts in your head. You're not your thoughts, right? Your thoughts don't actually define who you are. If you're walking around and all these thoughts in your head are telling you, "Oh, I'm so ugly, I'm insecure, I'm this fat kid, I'm all this, I have no friends." Those are your thoughts. They don't actually define you. Sure, maybe you are observing things around you, right? But they are your thoughts, and you're in control of how you act in real life. You can choose, which I'm sure you've been doing, which I've been doing for the longest time, is acting what my thoughts tell me, acting out those thoughts in real life. My thoughts would tell me, "Yeah, you're not good enough. Like you're worse than other people. English is your second language. Your voice is, not manly. It's more higher pitched. Your pronunciations of certain words isn't perfect. You stand out in that sense. People look at you weird. You're awkward." And I would live by those things for the longest time. Like growing up in my school years, I would live like that. I would believe it's true. But let me tell you this. You're in control of your thoughts. Sure, they're annoying. You look down on yourself. But you have to fake it till you make it, essentially. You have to put those thoughts aside and do actions in your life as if you are a person who you want to become. Let me clarify. Have an image in your head of who you want to become. You want to be confident. You want to be, smart. You want to be fit. You want to be good looking, for example. You have to act like that person. You have to act as if you're good. You're not worse than anyone else. You have to act as if you're smart. Like you have to basically fake it to prove yourself, to prove your mind that you are that person. Do the habits of that person. What would a lazy person do? They would sleep in, they would play video games, they would whatever, right? They would waste their life. Those actions reinforce your mind and your thoughts that, yeah, I'm actually lazy. I'm actually stupid. I'm actually incapable. But you're not. You are capable. Start doing the actions of that person who you want to become. Think of what would that person, the ideal version of myself, what would they do in this situation? Would they stay up until 3 a.m. and sleep in until noon and then play video games all day long and eat chips? Probably not. The ideal version is right there. It's waiting for you. And you have to unlock it. You have to unlock your own potential. I am not saying I'm perfect or I've unlocked my own potential, but this mindset is really helping me out. Over the past few years, losing weight, learning so much about food and nutrition and calories, getting in shape. I was always a chubby kid. I'm not saying I'm fit or lean by any way, shape, or form, but I feel a lot better about myself because I'm not letting my intrusive thoughts define who I am. I want to look at it as if there's two versions of yourself. There's the current version and there's a better version. The person who you want to become, the person who you want to strive to be like. The person who never, maybe skips the gym or never slacks off. The person who doesn't half-ass things. We all make mistakes, right? We all can learn. We all maybe, skip certain things that we should be doing, right? I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but there is a version of yourself who is going to push through the difficulties no matter what. And it's literally you. You're that version. You're right there. You're in control to become, to unlock that person. As I mentioned earlier, when I was younger, I used to live my life based on my thoughts. My thoughts basically controlled my life. All these insecure thoughts about me and, being awkward, being not good enough, that's what I believed, and that's how I lived my life. And I remember so many situations where I would miss out on so many opportunities and things. I would isolate myself from people. I would feel shy talking to classmates, talking to new people. I was literally afraid to talk on the phone. I was afraid to place an order, a takeout order or a delivery order at like 16, 17 years old. I would not call on the phone. I was afraid of my, own self. And I'm saying this now so that people who are watching me will relate that it's absolute bullshit. It's not true. You're not worse than other people. I mentioned that you should fake it till you make it, but you obviously want to prove yourself and your mind that you are that person, meaning you have to do things that a better version of you would do. So instead of being lazy and slacking off, do the right thing and prove to yourself, to your mind, that you are that person. You're becoming that person. That's what I started doing. And after getting out of my comfort zone, talking to new people, doing things that I was afraid to do, after having good interactions, after having positive reinforcements, I realized that, hey, I'm not as bad as I thought I am. Obviously, when you're getting out of your comfort zone, you're going to have bad interactions. You're going to have bad experiences, but you can't let them define you because where's that going to lead you to, right? Nowhere. You're going to remain insecure. You're going to remain awkward. You have to keep trying and trying and trying and trying until you hit the jackpot, until you get a good interaction, which you can base your life off of, your future life. So no matter what happens in the future, you can look back and be like, hey, I had a really good interaction that one time, and it was actually really fun, and it wasn't that scary, and I felt good, and I was fun to be around. The reason I'm making this video is that I want you to relate to me. I want you to feel less alone because we all feel insecure. When I was a kid looking at all these, YouTubers, all these people on social media, I was like, wow, like they're so perfect, they're so confident, all these things. No, I'm a 25-year-old guy and I also have insecurities, just like you and everybody else. Some people don't talk about them, but we have certain things we are insecure about. That's just a fact. And so I want you to feel less alone and know that your insecure thoughts about yourself, your negative thoughts, they're not your thoughts. They're not thoughts that you were born with. They're thoughts that were put in your head by other people. Friends, maybe family, bullies, right? Society, standards. They're not actually you hating yourself. You're the person inside who is listening and observing those negative thoughts. And how you get out of it is you basically act as if the person you want to become. So do things that a person who you admire, who you want to become as, would do in that situation instead of listening to your negative, intrusive thoughts. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. If you want to tell me anything about your life, anything you want to share in the comments, please go ahead and do so. Maybe it will inspire me to make more videos addressing your situation. All right? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.